In case anybody is wondering, yes, that's an Halschka-Raptor. Oh, come on, Facebook. Yes. Hi Evolution, hi Julian, hi Acro, and hi Fiasco Spino. Welcome to the stream. And on Twitter, I hope there will be no technical issues today. I just had a bunch of updates on my computer and emptied the cache of the browser and all that good stuff, and I hope it should be okay. Evolution, yes, I have seen that Edestus teaser, and it makes me really curious what they are cooking there. Will be interesting. Okay, let's start. I will not, I think I will not do an Edestus in the stream, on the stream, because it's because I would like to wait until it is published, so I can say in afterward. I already knew it, always, of course. Panphagia ish possible. Hulsampes, or no, Hulsampes. Wasn't it Hulsampes? Rubiosaurus. I think I like Panphagia. That little beast. Oh, and Ashley, don't cry because we have no special topic today. Please. Okay, so I think there was a Panphagia skeletal drawing. Hi Juan, welcome to the stream. And welcome Drake Great. Ah yes, there we have it. Panphalia. Very, very similar to Eoraptor, but maybe just that tiny little bit more close to sauropodomorphs. One of the most basal sauropodomorphs we know. Probably still omnivorous, but already shorter shorter legs, so probably no very fast predator. Yeah, let me know, guys, what could be an interesting scenario for this guy. In general, I think at some point we need to do a Triassic stream. There's so many interesting beasts from that time. Julian, the Adestals teaser picture is on Discord in the Paleo News channel. Should be, I think. What could be suitable? Sabadol trying to chew its tail. Coupled animal stream. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's try it. And I hope very much that the technical issues we had yesterday with the tablet were because my computer was running for too long and needed updates and it was full of shit and so on, so that I can use it now again, because I'm still already using my old one here, still not giving up on it. Yeah, that should be the proportions. Yeah, neck should be slightly shorter. like that. Shoop. I try to zoom in more in on my skeletal drawing here. Now it works. Okay. Let's see, and the yep, like that. The jaw here has a little bit of a drop at the end. Julian, there are so far no updates on the feathered sauropodomorph hypothesis. Mostly because we just lack the data in the moment, I would say. I'm totally open to anything that will come out of that. I would guess that over the course of the next 10 years we will get a few more answers to that, but yeah, we will see. I look every SVP forward to the abstract book to maybe find in there something that could be interesting for that direction. But yeah, so far nothing. Mostly I think, well, you can't really work in that direction with molecular data. So you just have to rely on the fossil record. And to really confirm that the dinosaur family tree was fully fluffed, you would need a whole lot of good fossils. And so far we lack them. I'm not even sure if we have any soft tissue preservation for early sauropodomorph at all. Would be nice, and if I would guess that it would probably come from South Africa, where some of the best fossils of these guys come from so far. China has also some amazing fossil sites, but the quality isn't that high. The preservation isn't that detailed. There are, for example, tons of fossils of Lufenosaurus, really herds of them, but they are all in a shape that I would say, nah, these strata aren't that suitable for the preservation of this. So we just wait. I hope you all enjoy the silence after the very loud stream yesterday. I was expecting that it would go this way, but not that much. Maybe you notice at some point I even muted them for a little bit. They can unmute themselves again because they have the right to do that. But just to give them a hint to keep it a little bit down. I think words like cancer were thrown around in the comment section. Ooh. Yeah, apparently Kirby might come later. I just got a message. And some photos of him with a ferret, and it looks absolutely adorable. Oh, welcome back, Fiasco Spino. Oh. I'm thinking about giving this guy a Uropatagium, but I think for now I will just leave it this way. Although I will maybe give it a little Propatagium. I wish GIMP would give you a little bit more options for the brushes. It's really hard for me to control the how soft they are and so on. Opacity is okay and so on, and I think the different modes can be extremely helpful. Just have to get used to them, and in a few cases I still don't know what they are for, because to my eye at least they do exactly the same. But yeah, there are a few brush modes that I think are extremely helpful, like multiply, or making everything brighter and so on. It's interesting how picture of an animal changes when you have its phylogeny in mind. If I would have drawn this with a theropod ancestry or phylogeny in mind, would probably ended up with something else, but I think it actually looks like a sauropodamorph now. Knowledge shapes your perception, and perception shapes your art. Should write that down for the book. I actually, maybe you know that from the Saurian streams, but I have a guilty pleasure to quote myself. And I actually have a bunch of quotes from myself in the script so far for the book I'm working on. Still not very sure how to structure the art part. Because it's difficult. I could order them by chronologically, so when I made them, from the oldest to the newest, I could let's make it a little bit darker. I can order them in geological time, starting with the oldest depicted organisms and going through until something like the Moa. I have no Moa painting yet, but I would like to have one in there. Or maybe go sort them in projects, or maybe clades. So all the Adstar kit pictures, and there are quite a few, will be together. All the synapses together. That's how I sort them in on my computer actually. I think I will probably also include some screenshots how I organize stuff, just for fun, because sometimes I get silly questions about how I do all this, and I think one. And no, not silly questions. There are no silly questions, but one should be prepared for every type of question. Oh, the Paleo Miner, welcome to the stream. Propatagium between tibia and metatarsus. And no, there are, to my knowledge, no evidence for such a thing, and I don't think that would make really sense, especially if you consider that they didn't fly like in the first like proposed in the first publications on this guy with these sprawling hind limbs. I think that's rather unlikely, especially because down there at the ankles there is not much flesh, just tendons basically. Nearly no muscles. It's rather unlikely that there we would have such a soft structure. We don't even see it in hind limb gliders like Charovipteryx. So quick look on on Discord. Something's in. Nope. Yes. John. Yes, I have seen that. Well, I think it looks interesting. Although I agree with others on the hands. I think you can really create some very interesting organs that could act like could be used in a similar way to our hands, but look totally different actually, based on mantis appendages. I would maybe look into that because they already can grab with them, so I would pay close attention to the anatomy of these claws. Okay, let's say let's give this puppy some color. Let me know what you would like to see on this guy. So far the tablet acts normal, which is nice. I hope it will do that for the rest of the stream. For some reason I have a déjà vu. Like I have already done this. I don't know why, but the proportions seem to be a little bit off. Well, let me look at the skeleton again. Ooh, I think the arms are a little bit too large. I will correct that. Thank God for the eye morph tool. Yep. Better. Much better. I will probably make them a little bit more beefy. Oh, Attila, welcome to the stream. This is Ponphagia, basal sauropodomorph. Color of a puppy. There are many puppies in this world. I can't impossibly choose one. I think I will give it some filaments. Not yet, just to annoy a few of the feather deniers. Because it's so easy. Dachshund, also known as Dackel. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, why not? So chocolate brown, basically. Let's see. Try to get this color right. Yeah, this should work. Let's first do the beer stuff. I will make the belly a little bit lighter again later. Damn it, I just noticed that I forgot to add the cloaca. We can't have any of that. Must add the cloaca. I remember the days when I made watercolor paintings of crocodile cloacas in hyper detail. Good times. Jo. Tricky is the part where the two meet. All that just for base coloration. Damn it, GIMP. Don't do this. This is why we can't have nice things. That and because of Donald Trump. cloaca runs perpendicular to the midline. No. What do I say? Anterior posteriorly. Visually. Look at crocodiles. Crocodiles are usually good model there. You could also look at birds, of course. But in their case it's a little bit different. I think we all have seen at some point a chicken butt. Oh no. I try to mimic here how dachshund fur behaves in light. The sketch needs way too long again. You know, sometimes the best sketches are those who are done within just a few minutes. And I have the feeling this is not the case here. I think I will make the feet here darker. do. Yep. Good enough for me. Oh yeah. Before I forget. Some simple filaments. Not very fitting there. Yep. Okay, let me know, guys, what we could do next. Quickly save this. I must say the color isn't really dachshund now. Looks a little bit like a sausage that got burned on the one end. Well, it is what it is. Acro, I see you did one as well. Nice, 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 nice. Also with a few filaments. Okay. By the way, I hope you liked the stream we had yesterday, although it was a little bit chaotic in voice chat. I mean, liked it results wise. Oh no, actually not that. Not that Glyptodont with the impossible name. Micropachycephalosaurus, on the other hand, is way more doable phonetically as well as drawing. Micro. I'm not actually sure if how much do we know of this guy? Oh, apparently not much. Juan, yes. Yes, that first name that Acro posted is actually something that exists. Yeah, Razanan Drongobe is pretty bad, but it is, I think, easier to learn than the other one. I just found here a little picture which shows what material is known. I will look on DeviantArt. I'm not actually sure it is still considered to be a pachycephalosaur. Erectopus, yes, that's a great one. That's indeed. Hyperonectar. You are right. Yeah, see, the newest cladistic analysis that included Micropachycephalosaurus placed them within Ceratopsia. I think we will do Hyperonectar because it's a good boy. Got this. All these mails you get in the moment because all these providers change their copyright and and data security stuff, because the European Union changed some laws there. I mean, it's nice that it's now more difficult for these guys to just use your data. But yeah, all these mails that begin with, "Oh, it's so important to us, and your data are important to us, and you are important to us especially." Let's see. Hypernectar. I would say we depicted. Well, it's still kind of mysterious how it lived, although it was suggested that it was able to glide, and that it had hollow bones would also speak against that it was a swimmer, because it would just make it float. Climbing also seems relatively reasonable. You know what? I will depict it drinking. Very long humerus. Yep. You know what? I think it's easier when I just cheat in this case. Copy. New layer. Vertical. Like that. Should open layers again. Really hope we will find more fossils of this animal, because in the moment it's just frustrating to talk about it. So much we don't know. Welcome, Diloraptor. How does one become one with the green force? I don't know yet. You have to understand that in contrast to dark side and light side, green force is still a relatively young field of force related study.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here. A little bit late, but...
How is it going?
What else have we done so far?
It's
going well.
Yeah, we just did a Panphagia.
Ooh, good. Nice.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it.
It took way too long, but we did it.
Good. Well, you know, I am going to do a... Alright, starting now. Okay, I've clicked the link to the stream, so now I'm actually watching.
Good. Just
now I can see the chat.
Yep. Just working on a Hyperonector. That strange Triassic animal that was maybe a glider.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, with an expanded tail region.
It'd be nice if the video would load for me. Hopefully Sketchbook doesn't crash on me tonight.
Yeah. Let's hope. At least on my side it's better now. I ran a few updates. Deleted the complete cache of my browser and did some other stuff to get the performance better, and I think it helped at least a little bit. I'm back on my old tablet because it works again.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
Very good.
I think my theme for the next few streams, unless I get hit with a spontaneous bit of inspiration, is just going through and drawing all the animals from the Walking with Dinosaurs series in an updated fashion.
That could be interesting.
I'm not going to give them the same color palette or anything.
Oh, so I was about to ask. Would you make it? Yeah.
No, I'm going to do a complete redo. I guess redesign is a bad word for it. I'm just going to draw my interpretation of the animals that appeared in Walking with Dinosaurs. And I'm starting with Thernaxodon.
Nice.
Even though it technically wasn't Thernaxodon that appeared in that episode. It wasn't even a Cynodon. It was the bones of something that they thought, but it turned out not to be. It turns out that there's not a cynodont in Shinley. I don't know what it turned out to be, though. And there's a good chance to plug Tristan's blog, Notions of a Particular Dinosaur Nerd, because he did a very good review of the Walking with Dinosaurs series that I think anyone interested in knowing all the things that was wrong with the series should check out. It's in my opinion the best comprehensive guide to Walking with Dinosaurs.
It's not so important to look at what they got wrong, but more to look what they got right and to learn from that. Also in terms of filmmaking.
Oh, in terms of filmmaking, Walking with Dinosaurs is like one of the best documentary films that I've ever seen.
Yeah, still.
But the good thing about Tristan's blog is that he does actually focus a little bit on the good. He, in particular, I remember him talking about how pleased he was to see that the dromaeosaurs in Walking with Dinosaurs weren't depicted as really fast, speedy animals, and instead of slower
sprinters
or sprinting ones.
Yeah. I think they specifically mention that their legs are razor short and not made for long distance running, like a wolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's quite good. That's something that I really hasn't even been touched on in any future dinosaur documentary since then.
Yeah.
In Dinosaur Planet, the velociraptors were depicted as very fast-moving, agile, runner-down type of animals. I need to rewatch Dinosaur Planet. When I was a kid, it was my favorite, but now, it was only my favorite because it was sort of my all yesterdays. It was my first introduction to dinosaurs in a way that I hadn't really seen them before. Like I had known that there were feathered dinosaurs like Archaeopteryx and modern birds, but I did not know that Velociraptor was one of them. So when I saw the feathered dinosaur and they said, "This is Velociraptor," I was like, wow, that's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, that reveals how much difference a few years can make, because when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, nice to see finally a feathered Velociraptor in a documentary.
Yeah, I was about 5 or 6 when that came out.
Oh.
I was just a little baby.
Just a little paleo baby.
A little paleo baby.
Yeah.
Learning my way around the paleo world.
Yep. Oh, have you seen that that graphic I made of my concept of the paleo world?
Oh no, I don't think I have.
I posted a link to in the secret art group some time ago. And I try to make it as spectrum-like as possible. Yeah, and try to bring over... I
think I know what you're talking about now.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think that Walking with Dinosaurs is pretty fantastic of a documentary, even with its flaws. And I think that it is not necessarily in terms of scientific credibility, but in terms of just sheer filmmaking and all around visual storytelling and composition, the best dinosaur documentary that has been made.
Yeah. Glorious piece of paleo fiction, as they sometimes call it. You know, I would really like to see more paleo fiction in the league of working with dinosaurs and Raptor Red. So not only in
Right.
as a film, but also in book form would be quite nice.
You know, I have actually never read Raptor Red. I should probably do that. Once I get done reading the book that I'm doing now, I think that I will dive into Raptor Red.
Okay.
It takes place in Cloverly, right?
Can't remember the exact location, but it's Utah.
Okay. Well, I know it has Deinonychus and Acrocanthosaurus
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And Ornithocarids and Astrodon.
Okay.
What else? Iguanodontids. Therizinosaurs, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
dinosaurs. I suppose that'd be Nothronicus.
I think that's from a time when these guys had no name yet. They, at least in the... Oh no, I think they are Signosaurus in the book.
I see.
Yeah. Becker comes up with quite an interesting idea about their ecology.
Well, I will have to check it out, see for myself. Sounds promising, though.
Oh, Juon, yes, that's true. Walking with Dinosaurs accurately predicted the sinking of Seismosaurus into Diplodocus. Yeah, because some of the specimens they show there are definitely Seismosaurus size.
They took quite a bit of artistic liberty, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's once to strike when doing paleo storytelling like that, between showing what we know and what we speculate on. I know Walking with Dinosaurs came under a lot of criticism when it first came out for having.
Yeah, but I think that was
for some
that what was always the case with paleo art. I remember reading that even back in the day, Benjamin Waterhouse Hawkins got huge, a lot of letters, which from experts that told him, "Hey, we have no idea how this looks like. Why are you depicting it this way and so confidently this way? You are miseducating."
It's a double-edged sword between showing speculation and what we know as fact, and the area between that, and how to differentiate the two. I think that Planet Dinosaur did not quite take the correct approach to it, as every time that explained things, it would completely break the flow the story that they were trying to tell.
Yeah, as Scott Potter said in his video about that documentary, they tried too much.
Yeah.
Too much at the same time.
They correct the mistakes of walking with dinosaurs to the point where they made it was a bit too conservative, I suppose.
Also, every feathered dinosaur just looked like crap.
It did. And the feathers weren't attached to the right part of the phalanges as well. And also, they showed Sinornithosaurus and said that we know its colors, but the colors of Sinornithosaurus has never been published. At the time, the colors a Microraptor had, yet they had Microraptor miscolored.
Yeah.
And strange, also in the wrong place at the wrong time, because it did not live with Sinornithosaurus. But I mean, I suppose you could use the excuse to say that the Microraptor shown in Planet Dinosaur, or a less colorful morph, a juvenile, or something like that. But I still think that it would have been better if they had used Microraptor as the example of a dinosaur to which we feather color for.
Yeah, although I don't know if it's a question if the study on Microraptor melanosomes was already published during the production. Because it is quite obvious that the study that showed that Sinornithosaurus wasn't venomous was obviously not out when they did that.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, hard to tell. These documentaries are in a way it's the medium is too inflexible.
There's a difficult balance to strike.
That's why I, for example, think that YouTube miniseries could be more interesting, actually, at some point. A whole new medium, actually, something that could be relatively quickly produced, but maybe with high production value, and it could be interesting. I mean, Eons already does that a little bit, but imagine that mixed up with working with dinosaurs. That would be really great.
That would be really great. I've always fantasized about directing, or at least, storyboarding or doing the creature designs for a dinosaur documentary since I was a little kid. It's my little escapist fantasy. Something I highly, highly doubt will ever happen, but I like to think about.
Well, you never know. When I first saw or read about the monster of Minden, the Venator, years before it was published, I thought, oh damn, I would love to make the first illustration of that animal. And then the opportunity came years later.
I just need to do more work, get my name out there a little bit more.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Sure.
Produce, no matter what. It can only help.
And I've noticed that from doing these streams and getting sketches out and posting them on Instagram and on Twitter, that there are people who who do want me to do work and will share it to
Nice.
support me. Darren Naish, for example,
Yeah. I saw
retweeted
that
a
little discussion on Twitter.
yeah,
It's
and then it just sort of reminded me that if I was more active and if I was posting stuff, then I could have even more outreach.
yeah, totally.
So I think what I'm gonna try to do for right now is I keep having ideas for like these big glorious paintings that I'm gonna do, but
Yeah.
I think maybe it'd be better for me to just do small things for a little while, just little single simple illustrations like these speed sketches.
Yeah, I think it's
Just to
better
get a little bit more
to let the
traction.
inspiration pile up for a while. Just do small
Mhm.
stuff. If you aren't
Yeah.
sure that you can do it in one rush, you might say.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
at least in my case, it's often that when I drop the pencil, it's over. And at least in the past, it was for me that I stopped working on that one piece, and I never did again.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot as well. I'll get working, and I usually can only work for so long before I get tired and take a break. But as long as I'm doing it all within the same day and don't
Yeah.
get distracted, I can usually get done. But if I get distracted, then, or
Which
if I
can
have an
happen
idea for
quickly.
another piece that I want to do the next one,
Yeah.
so just need to stop doing that.
Mhm.
I think my main goals as an artist is I want to have a piece of mine in a museum at some point. Do a commission for a museum, have maybe a mural or something, but I'll take just exhibit pieces as well.
Mhm.
I want to do, and I want to produce a Zednik Burian type Life Before Man book of just sort of a non-educational
Yeah.
book that's just you look through it, and once you're done with taking a journey through geological time and saw a lot of snapshots from it.
Yeah, that would be nice to have again.
Mm-hmm. Very very little accompanying text. Just the basics explaining what animals
Yeah.
are where and what time it is when it's happening. Let the reader decipher everything else that's happening.
Are there local museums in your area?
There's only one, but I don't plan on in the United States for the entirety of my life. I plan on moving around and perhaps even going to moving to Europe somewhere that's not here, but that's far in the future.
Yeah. Because if you want to get going on museum pieces, it can be interesting to get contacts at local museums. I guess.
I do. The Discovery Center of America is around where I live.
Mm.
There is a pale artist that I know that has a piece in the museum, but I'm forgetting his name. but one of his illustrations is in there of Appalachiosaurus.
Ah. I think I'm done. Not many details on the background here, not many details on the animal, just the scene.
It looks quite nice to me. It's simple, but
yeah,
simple is good, I think. I like simple.
Yeah, simple is good. Okay guys, let me know what we could do next. Oh, hi Devon.
I have never been at doing that effect where the light on the water surface appears on the animal's back.
Oh, the caustics.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs some practice. It was my worst nightmare a few years ago.
Hopefully I'll get to it.
Yeah. Ah, Acro did something new. Nectar, nice. Ooh. Nanospinus. Nice one.
What if they find a Bambiraptor embryo and they call it Nano Bambiraptor?
You mean like bye-bye long? I still don't know why they gave that embryo own genus name.
It's I don't know. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Everything warrants a new species, I suppose. A new genus.
Yeah, or as Jack Horner said in one of his talks, scientists like to name things. Like to name new dinosaurs. So we name new dinosaurs whenever we can. Unfortunately. Not always justified.
Not always the best thing to do. I think tonight's stream is done. I'm going to do some file cleaning on my computer, do a little bit of deleting, try and figure out what's causing Sketchbook to act up on me so much recently.
Yeah.
Like right now, just as I'm speaking.
Yeah, sometimes it's a mystery, and after some time there are so many files piling up, artwork as well as scientific papers.
Yeah, I do have quite a few files on this computer, and a lot of them I don't even look at.
Yeah, I think I need to move a lot of what I have here on an external drive at some point.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could just suck it up and delete them because I know that I'm never going to look at them anyway. Like I have two huge folders on my computer that are, one's full of pictures of mammals that are from the internet, and one's just full of pictures of birds that are from the internet.
Oh well, I just have an inspiration folder which I named porn folder. Yeah, how many pictures are in there? 428 in the moment. So razor small.
I don't even know how many are in my mammal folder, but I know that if I deleted it, I would probably have so much extra space on my computer.
Yeah. Well, I really only save nowadays stuff that I'm really impressed by, or where I think, oh well, that could be an interesting base for a piece later.
Whenever I save something, it's because it's almost always a work of art or a piece of animal photography. And if it's a work of art, I will usually create and I will find the rest of the artist's work and I will make a folder for all of their work.
Yeah, I actually don't do that. I have very, very little artwork in this inspiration folder. I should probably also at some point have some folders, I guess. What I'm in the moment doing is collecting unusual paleo art that is truly outstanding in terms of creativity, so composition and so on, or stylistically.
Very interesting. All right, I am deleting my mammal folder. It has taken a while. It's already up to.
What?
It's counting. It's over 1,000 right now.
Oh ha. Ceratogallus. That was that yeah, that horned beaver. Horned burrowing beaver. I remember that guy.
Just past 2,000. And it's still going.
Oh ha.
Okay, 27,000 is the 2,790 was the amount of pictures in that folder.
Oh ha.
And now I'm going to do the same to my Neorniths folder.
Oh, by the way, guys, I know at some point we had a stream where we went through my inspiration folder, but when you guys want to see that at some point again, let me know.
Not as many as I thought would be in that folder, honestly.
Varanopside family. Oh yes, I know that fossil you are talking about, Paleominer. I'm tempted to do this fish that a crew suggested. Bilancia.
Okay. My bird folder is much larger. I'm in 3,000 right now. All right. 3,537 pictures in the bird folder.
I think my the bird part of my inspiration folder is also the largest.
All right, time to empty out my recycle bin then.
What else do I have in here? Quite a few of mammals. But not as many. Mostly stuff where the composition is interesting.
Yeah, Lord.
Mostly birds.
Empty recycle bin. Yes, delete all my items.
Let's see, is there a good reference of this fish?
Lord, I had 6,859 items in my recycle bin.
Oh, ha.
So,
That's
hopefully deleting
quite a
those
lot
is
to
going
recycle.
Yes. Hopefully deleting those is going to help my sketchbook performance quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, have you seen that Edestus teaser on in the Paleo News channel?
Oh no, I will go look at it now.
Yeah. It's already quite interesting looking.
Edestus. Ah, I see. All right. Ooh.
It's
very interesting.
Yeah. It has such a blunt nose.
Mm-hmm.
Razor. Yeah, surprising, I would say.
Yes, quite. What is it sign up the juvenile pterosaurs that were originally thought to be Nimigopteryx were?
Nimicolopteryx?
Yes. Didn't they turn out to be a juvenile Sinopterus, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think there's nothing published on that yet, but I think 80 to 90% of all paleontologists regard it nowadays, I think, as something in that direction.
Well, the current background for my computer is Jean Conway's painting of juvenile Sinopterus.
Yeah, I love that piece as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was
very good, and also very.
Yeah, it was for a very long time also my background on my old computer.
I've been cycling through Conway and Witten and Kaiba paintings for my computer background.
Surprisingly,
what's my lock screen on my phone?
Surprisingly, on my new on my current PC, I have my Liopleurodon picture for I think more than 5 years now as a background.
I never use my own paintings as backgrounds for my devices. I can't stand looking at them for too long. The more I look at them, the more I see everything wrong with them.
Well,
Alright, so my phone lock screen is Barlow's painting of the dagger wrists in the tree with the juvenile on its back.
Nice. Mine is the painting I recently did with waterfall and the cliff behind it that nobody here will probably know in the chat, because I haven't showed it to anyone else yet.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Very
in terms of
secret.
size and format, it fits perfectly on the screen. Before that, I had the Entflaffening will come picture.
Yeah, my Lilo Daggerist, and then the main background to my phone is an image from the animated series Kaiba,
Ooh.
which is my favorite piece of media overall.
I think
Well,
I'm not even sure if I heard about that yet.
oh, it's very very obscure. It was made in 2008 by a director called Masaki Yuasa. The only thing that he's made that has come into mainstream consciousness was the recent Netflix series Baby, which was blew up in popularity quite a bit. And since that has happened, a lot of stuff has been licensed and is starting to make its way into U.S. releases. So just recently, I finally got to have a Blu-ray of Kaiba, which is something that I thought would never happen. He also directed my favorite movie, which is called Mind Game.
Ooh.
I like that fish. I think I've given on drawing for this stream. I'm gonna focus my attentions on trying to figure out what's wrong with Sketchbook and how I can fix it.
Also
And hopefully
idea.
next stream I'll be able to.
Yes, Johan, that's a fish.
Gonna
Please
do
tell no.
disk clean. Maybe I should uninstall Saurian from my computer because I have it, but my computer is not powerful enough to run it properly, so I'd never play it.
Yeah, that's maybe a good idea.
As much as I'd love to play Saurian, I simply do not have the processing power to do so. So,
are you able to get another copy at any time?
yes, I should be able to. I'll still have it on my Steam.
Yeah, so it
I have
should
two
be...
copies because I won the Paleocast art competition the year where the Saurian game was the main prize for first place. So, and at that time I had already pre-ordered Saurian, so I have two copies of it.
That comes in handy.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm such a non-gamer, I don't even know how I would get something on Steam.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it works.
I will say that I have had a lot more free time on my hands since I quit gaming. The only thing that I've lost from it is that I do not understand many of my friends' conversations.
Oh well. And I'm still able to do that because I watch Let's Plays, like others watch sitcoms.
Oh yes, I also watch Let's Plays. The only games that that I ever really were Nintendo games in the first place. So like, ironically enough, Kirby, but as well Mario, Zelda. I know Sonic's not Nintendo, but I played a few of the classics. But I have a friend that's always like, "Oh, you should play this and this and this and this, and you should play this." And I'm just like, I don't have the time, nor really
Yeah.
the want.
Yeah.
So, so I just say, "Oh, I'll think about that. I'll look into it."
Yeah, for
And
me
then
it's
I
like,
will.
okay, the games I would like to play, I know I don't have the skill for because I suck.
Oh yes, I am
Um,
horrible at video games.
and then there are
There's
games
only a
which,
couple that I consider much good.
yeah, and then there are just so many games where I just like the story, for example, or the world that is built there.
Right.
That I just can consume it through Let's Plays, like God of War or the Halo games. I like quite a lot to watch.
There's a game called A Night in the Woods that is pretty much entirely a sort of experience to play it. It's easier to consume through Let's Plays and walkthroughs, and I quite like that game, and I have a good appreciation for it, despite the fact I've never actually played it.
Yeah, I also really liked, of course, here Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it's great, as well as what was again? I lost my thoughts there. I will be back in a moment. Continue.
Okay. I played a lot of Breath of the Wild when it came out, and I wouldn't say that I got good at it, but I had quite a bit of fun. The only problem was it began to take up too much of my time, so I started to cut back from it. The last game that I bothered getting good at was Sonic Mania. I did a lot of time trials, and I became fairly good at that game. I became a fairly competent player of it. And the last game that I played was in December, and it was Mario Odyssey, and I didn't even really play it. I owned a copy, and I owned a Switch, and I just let my ex-girlfriend sit in my lap and play it while I watched her.
Also possible.
Which I enjoyed much more than playing the actual game.
Oh yes. How was it called again? This game with a little boy and the griffin.
Oh, I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I
with
can't remember
Trico.
what it's called.
Was the name of the creature?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed very much watching that. It was extremely relaxing, and it was so nicely made. You see that it's a little bit older in terms of graphic, because it took so long to make that by the time it was published, the initial software was
The Last Guardian.
the last. Yeah.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed that. So I think the last game where I was tempted, still a little bit tempted to actually get it or play it. Oh my god! There's a moth here in the kitchen that is beautiful. I will try to make a photo of it.
Please do. I love moths. Even if they are a polyphyletic group.
Ah, damn it. The lighting is the worst. Please, autofocus. Yeah.
I remember one day I was lucky enough to stumble upon one of the rarest moths in North America. I forget what it's called. I will get back to you on the name. I'm looking up moths right now. But I remember walking outside. It was the first time I had ever seen one in real life, and I was just dazzled by it. It was a lot smaller than I had expected.
Let's see.
It
Try to get a good shot of it.
it was a rosy maple moth. That's what it was.
The colors never come really good over. Bam. Where's it now? Oh God, where's it now? Can't see it. Damn it.
I wonder how.
Oh well. I got a few shots. We'll send them over.
I wonder how insects. I'm gonna have to look up into insect hair coloration. I wonder how insects like the rosy maple moth can produce such bright, vivid pinks with such simple filaments, which is something that even
I
struggle
would
to do.
say Lepidopteran scales are a little bit more complex than just simple filaments.
Yeah. I'll have to look into insect integument a little bit more.
I think we should all do that at some point. And we all should look into fish.
Yes, in books about the history of vertebrate paleontology should not have a section on fish that is no bigger than a couple chapters.
A couple,
is the best.
a few dozen chapters.
Yeah, as Darren said in his pop paleo talk.
Yeah.
Very recently.
Yeah.
Which
As
the
Darren
fossil
said.
record will wreck.
As Darren said, fish. Fish.
Fish.
Fish.
Fish. Apparently that wasn't a bit. He was just blanking out while trying to get a document to load.
It works.
Which makes it even better.
Yeah, it works very well. I sent the 2 shots I have over. It's never really working when I. It looks so much smaller here, and the colors are terrible.
What chat did you put it in?
Secret Art Club.
Okay. Oh, it is quite pretty.
Yeah.
Well, I got a few messages from Nick I need to respond to.
So, I think I made the body too long.
Well, you could always just say individual variation,
Yeah,
mutation. This is a particularly long.
Yeah, different population. Always works. Okay, let's give it some colors. People of the chat, let me know what could be interesting as a coloration for the sky.
Mm-hmm. All right, Saurian. What should I do? Should I just uninstall? Well, I just did this cleanup. So let me see what that does. Oh, there's a new update available that fixes some bugs. So I'll install this update for Sketchbook as well. Hopefully that will help. Hopefully the update doesn't involve me having to restart my computer, though.
It's possible.
Well, luckily I'm talking with my phone, so even if it does restart, I'll at least have my audio. I won't be able to see the stream.
Oh, Paleo Miner is going to bed. Oh, yeah. Good night.
I need to try GIMP as well when I clear up enough space, because I like the fact that you can do color correction. Unprofessional professional says all yellow and red.
Indeed, indeed.
I'm trying to think of a yellow fish. It kind of sounds like he's suggesting a koi type pattern. But I believe the kois that have that color are domestic. I don't know if wild kois have that color.
Yeah. Well, kois themselves don't appear in the wild. They're a completely domesticated form of carp, I think.
I see.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I'm looking at wild carps now while I'm waiting for Sketchbook to finish its update. Install. Good.
Carps can be very beautiful.
Yes. Very pretty. Pretty.
They are very pretty fish.
What I wouldn't give to a better understanding of pod vertebrate phylogeny, but I'm still working my way through tetrapods. I've got a very good grasp on mammals. I've got an okay grasp on birds. Squamates, I'm not the best on. I have a general idea about what the shape of it looks like, but I can't identify a squamate when I see one, like I can a bird or a mammal, unless it's just really obvious what it is. So need to work better on my squamates. But I can, if someone comes and gives me a pen and a piece of paper and says draw a cladogram of all the mammals, I can do that quite easily. Not that anyone's ever asked me to do that, and they probably never will. But if they ask me to do birds, I If they asked me to do birds, I think I would do okay. I don't think I'd get it exactly right, but I think that I would do okay.
Yeah. This reminds me of that
meme.
bad. That reminds me of a meme I saw on Facebook. When you grow up, they don't even ask you anymore what is your favorite dinosaur. They just don't care.
I know. It's so sad. It should honestly, like, when you go out to apply for a job, it should be one of the first questions that you get asked.
I think if I would be someone who is involved in getting people a new job and so on, giving job interviews, think that would be one of my standard questions. It would have nothing to do if the person would get a job or not, but just the reaction.
It's kind of, it's like taking a personality test a little bit. It's the what kind of person you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Say, what's your favorite dinosaur? If they say something like, oh, T-Rex, Spinosaurus, something like that, then they have more of a type A personality.
I would actually would never look at the person friendly, no matter what they would answer. I would always look at them judgmental. Like it was the most horrible choice they could have made.
Even if it's your favorite dinosaur.
I don't have a favorite dinosaur.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I do. I'll admit it. I have a favorite.
That's okay.
Sinosauropteryx. But I also really like cuckoos. And my favorite local bird is the North American woodcock.
Mm.
Only one of my real life friends ever bothered to remember what the name of my favorite dinosaur is.
Mm.
And it was my ex-girlfriend.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, that's a person you need to keep close to your heart.
Yeah. That's you know what their favorite dinosaur is. Because if you don't know that, then what do you know about them? That's the most personal question that you could ask someone, is their favorite dinosaur.
Mm. And I thought it was, do you want to go shopping with me? But I was wrong.
I have been asked that as well. I saw a meme of Tommy Wiseau, which, for those of you who don't know, directed the movie The Room, a very infamous movie.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Where it was an interview with him, and it was I think it was a Reddit Q&A, and they asked Tommy, what's your favorite dinosaur? And his reply was, move on, next question. And then they said, I understand some questions are just too personal. It was quite good. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'll post it in I guess it would go in on Paleo Shitpost, even if it is.
I think that would be in my case, in a job interview, the only possible right answer.
Move on, next question.
And the worst possible answer would be, I don't like dinosaurs.
I don't like dinosaurs, or I don't believe in dinosaurs.
No, oh yes, that would actually be even worse, I think.
Ooh, I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, that's very sad. I have no idea where that question
To quote
came
Rick and
from. Where I saw.
Morty, disqualified.
Oh, that's a shame. If I ever do find it, I'll make sure to.
Good.
But
Do that.
so far it's to no avail.
Yep. And finished.
Ooh, taking a peek. Oh, that's why nothing was happening.
Anthony,
It
yes,
happens a lot.
that's paleoart. That's an extinct fish with the name Bilancea.
Is it a type of lobe fin, or does it just kind
No,
of?
I think it's more closely related to sharks, actually.
Oh,
Yeah. Sharks or chimeras? Let me actually check.
Wait a moment. What is it called again?
Fish from the Carboniferous.
Oh, I know that. Okay, I know what you're doing now.
Yeah,
I actually had a painting
conjoined
of that plan. It was in my list of animals to reconstruct for the Carboniferous part of that book that I did.
Yes. It's the group it belongs to is related to chimeras.
All right, I might potentially have found an article, but I'm looking.
Oh god, there's a promotional poster for Jurassic World, and with a big fat "They deserve peace" on it. And when I look at it, I just think, no, nuke that place.
The Jurassic World baryonyx is quite a powerful animal.
Oh yeah, I'm not even sure if that would be enough. You know, it can withstand lava.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, just after the stream yesterday, I was again and again thinking about that little clip, you know, and how ridiculous the whole situation is, because on the one hand we have obviously an explosive eruption with pyroclastic streams like Mount St. Helens, and on the other hand we have obviously very active lava streams, but usually these don't occur in the same type of volcano.
And also let's not even mention the behavioral aspect of this, because I don't care how hungry it is, there's not a single animal on the planet that when trapped in a room filled with lava is going to be more focused on getting a meal than it is on panicking and trying to get out. I would imagine that if a baryonyx was in a room like that, if a room like that could ever even exist, it would be panicking, flailing around a lot.
Yeah, and backing away from the lava a lot.
Yes, certainly backing away and not trying to jump through it to get to someone. But you know, dinosaurs, all they do is kill and eat, and that's all they can think about.
Professional had very good points there. Dinosaurs are not real, so who could tell if they could survive lava?
Oh yes.
And Anthony, yes, there is so far not much paleo art centered YouTube channels on YouTube, but we hope to change that in the future, especially with paleo streams.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to make videos like that, but I don't have the skill, the equipment, unfortunately.
I think you have the skill.
The best I can do. Oh well, I don't know. So to make the videos that I want, I'd have to have like some amount of video editing knowledge.
Well, you could start like I did with my speed sketches, and just speed them up, for example.
Yes, I could do that. Speed it up a bit, maybe record some audio explaining what I'm doing and
with some basic information and the technique you are using and so on.
Yeah, that could be something I could do. I also hope to get OBS set up to the point where I can live stream.
Oh yeah.
Well.
By the way, people, please suggest more animals to draw, otherwise I have to use the angry eyes.
No, and we can't have that again.
Yes.
The angry eyes are too much, too powerful. The most powerful weapon ever created. We're Thesaurus.
Yeah.
Let me look that up.
You know, they were designed to defeat Jurassic World baryonyx, so they had to be that way.
Oh, where Thesaurus is the stegosaur with the really strange looking.
Yeah, the cut off plate stegosaur.
Let's see, what formation is this guy from?
It's from China, I think. When I remember.
Oh,
correctly.
It's probably from the one, the Saurus and Mamenchisaurus, then. I forget what
think that was two Jangosaurs.
Oh. Okay, this one's in the Tagulu group. It apparently lived with a species of Psittacosaur and Tegulosaurus.
Interesting.
Let me see. I have a folder on my computer that I know has it on it, along with a list of other animals that would have been in that formation. Go to my formation folder.
That's something I would need to. I have nothing like that.
Well, it's not that great. I made it before. I made it like 3 years ago. All it is I went through pages for all the major fossil formations, and I pulled up a Microsoft Paint document and I copy and pasted a picture or a restoration of all the animals that would have been in that area. It's a very unprofessional tool, but it is helpful for me. It does give me an idea about what animals are in what formation.
Yeah, and that is already, I think, very, very helpful.
I can send a zip file of it to you if you'd like. It's not that big. It's only got formations. Does it have? Oh, it's got 103 pictures in it.
Oh wow!
And the restorations I chose weren't all exactly that good, and I don't have the names of the animals next to them. But it's slightly helpful. Okay, yeah, the Tagulu group. The only really recognizable animals from it is Werhosaurus and a Psittacosaur. All right.
Let's see.
Copy the downloads.
Gecko, I actually did already Carnotaurus. Let me show you.
Have we done any Noasaurids?
Not yet. Not even
Ooh,
Masiakasaurus.
alright, so you could... Wow. That would be a good one.
I will do Verosaurus now. I do way too little Stegosaurus. There it is.
I am forgetting how to... I forgot for a moment how to zip a file. Send to zip file.
I have never zipped something, I must confess.
It contains a file that cannot be zipped.
Oh.
Well, I don't know what that could be. Oops. Is it this? No, it can't be. I believe these are all PNGs.
Oh, it's typical. It says you that it can't be zipped, but it's not telling you what can't be zipped. So. Okay, Verosaurus. Let's see. Yeah, I will probably mix two Yangosaurus with the little material we have. It's not much.
But I know why you can't do it now. It's because the file for the Lorinha formation, the A has a little line above it that it doesn't register.
Yeah.
I have to resave it. It's that line with just a regular A.
It's so stupid.
Yes, that is quite dumb. But now that I've done that, it should work. Oh, bollocks. I accidentally deleted the file I just made instead of the old one. Okay, better. Now let's try it. Alright, yeah, now it's working just fine. I tried to include a good amount of Cenozoic and Paleozoic formations in here, but because there's so little information available on many of them, I don't have too many. I have Measle, of course. I have a little bit of Burgess shell, but I bought a book on Burgess
Oh, by the way,
shell
it's pronounced Messel. Actually.
Messel, sorry.
Yeah.
I used to call it Messel. I don't know why I suddenly started calling it Measle. I think because I started pronouncing Mesozoic that way instead of Mesozoic. Listening to too much podcasts.
I will make this Verosaurus being stuck in a hole in the ground.
Nah. Poor thing.
Are there any theropods known from that formation?
Yes. I will I'll pull them up really quickly. Hold on a moment.
Oh, it's actually already past 2. I need to have a look at the cats.
Okay.
I will leave you with a picture of the Carnotaurus, so you have something to look at while I'm gone. I will be back in a few minutes.
I'm going to try to entertain you a lot.
Yes.
While he's gone. While also looking for the theropods that are in the Tagulu group. Hello guys. It's me. It's your boy. Your gender neutral friend Kirby here. That was me officially coming out as gender neutral, non-binary. Right on the middle of a live stream. So there you go. There's some interesting news about me. You can still use he, him pronouns. I don't care what pronouns you use. Looks like the theropod is a Carcharodontosaurid called Kalmaeosaurus. Kalmaeosaurus. And there is another theropod which is just some type called Zyjangovenator. And there's another theropod dinosaur, which is an unknown tetaneuron, Thedrolosaurus. So I think that Yoshua's best goal is with the Carcharodont Kalmaeosaurus, which is known from some maxilla and some mandible. Brachiosaurus is a fairly late surviving stegosaurid. It's from the early Cretaceous. I'm not sure of very many other stegosauroids that are from that late. Although I could be completely mistaken, there could be quite a few of them. The late Jurassic seems to have the biggest concentration of them. Allow me to look into the temporal range of stegosaurids. Yeah, there's not very many in the Cretaceous. It's mostly Middle Jurassic to Late Jurassic, with a few being in the early Cretaceous. So that's interesting to see such a late surviving one as Werchosaurus. And it is a stegosaurine as well, so it's very closely related to Stegosaurus itself. Very, very interesting. Trying to look at other stegosaurids, the stegosaurines that would have been in the Cretaceous, in the early Cretaceous. I'm really having trouble finding any others other than Werchosaurus. I think it's the only one.
There was material from India, I remember.
A couple were posted in the chat by Diloraptor and right on, dude. Haha, I get it. I'm checking them both out. Okay, no, those are theropods. That's a theropod, and the other one is a meme that I should have picked up on immediately, but I didn't, because I'm very thick in the skull. But we did find you a theropod to use.
Yeah, I'm still working with the cats. I'm trying to find something here.
Okay. I'll continue distracting. Oh yes, the theropod that he posted was the very one that I was talking about a moment ago. So that goes to show you how well my memory is when it comes to these sorts of things. It's not known for much, just maxilla and mandible parts. But dude is interested in Rixentosaurus novasi. Looking it up. Ah, yes, the Abilosaurid. I'm gonna try to post this in the secret art club. I don't know if I can link a file. I don't know if I can link a file like that. I'm gonna give it a shot. No. Drat. Well, I wonder if Twitter will let me do that. People claim it's 11 meters. Well, I unfortunately do not know enough, but that sure does sound unlikely. That sure does sound oversized to me. Man, I hardly ever send messages on Twitter, so I hope this works. If it doesn't, then I'm not sure how to file. No, it doesn't look like this is gonna work. Well, I know I could share it on Skype, but I really don't want to have to open up Skype. I'd really rather not, but I'll do what I have to do. Into Skype.
I'm back. So.
Okay. Did you catch the theropod that
I heard something of a Carcharodontosaur.
Yeah, a Carcharodontosaurid called Kilmaeosaurus. Yeah, right on, dude. Put it in the chat. It's known from maxilla and mandible parts.
Oh. This Kilmaeosaurus. Okay, let's have a look at it. Carcharodontosaur, strange. Because I'm thinking about including this into the picture. Yeah. Let's see. Ah, there we have something. Okay. Something to work with.
Logging into Skype for the first time in a very long time. So that I can send you that my folder with all the formations in it, because I can't do it on Messenger.
Not? That's not working?
No, it's in Skype. I already have a Skype account. I'm not gonna go through this. I will
At least for
I could
someone recently sent me a zip file on Facebook Messenger. So or
Really?
do you try to do it over your phone or?
No, I'm on my laptop.
Huh. Strange.
Let me try it again. I tried putting it in the secret art club. Let me try sending it directly and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, usually when it should usually work when you try to send a file.
When I zip it. I know that I've sent people zip files on Messenger before.
Yeah, strange.
It says it's the file I selected is too large.
And maybe it
It's
needs
not near
to
as
be
large as the
compressed
file that I
more.
last shared. Maybe it does. Compressed zip. I am compressing it again.
The compression of the compression.
Making it flatter than a flatter than a floor.
Yeah. As they say in IT church, child, do you want to compress something?
Is
That pun
there
was
something that
miserable.
you need to compress? It was good. It was top notch.
Totally.
Alrighty, let's see what this is done. Oh, well, all I did was make a zip file of the zip file. That's not what I wanted to do.
Zipception.
Alright, let me try that. Let me try this. Compressed. Alright, change the compression size to parameter is incorrect. Ugh. Properties. I wish I knew how technology worked. How can I compress this more?
That's what I ask myself every time when I'm sitting on the toilet.
What if I tried to send the uncompressed version? How would that work? Oh. Oh. It seems... No, never mind. Get my hopes up, why don't you, Messenger? Okay, well, what if I just made split this in half and sent 2 separate ones?
Yeah, it's also possible.
Alright, 59 in one. And then the other will have 44. And then maybe that will work. Rename this formation to Electric Boogaloo. Alright. Zip and zip. I hope this works. And if it does not, well, I suppose I could always cry.
No, don't do that.
I suppose.
Man, don't cry. We sweet through our eyes.
Well, good thing I'm... and that's also too large. Yay! It's always going to be too large. Well, I don't know what to do.
Oh, well, maybe another time.
Maybe another time.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out that'll work better.
Oh,
Secret.
I will try to make this an evening piece.
It's stuck in quite a hole.
Yep.
How did it get itself into this situation?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
It had maybe to do with that I was standing behind it, but
Poor guy.
yep.
Well, Autodesk Sketchbook is just not even updating. It's been sitting here on nothing for a while.
Nice.
And now where has it gone? I'm just gonna have to like re-download the whole thing. I'm gonna have to uninstall it and reinstall it. I hope not. I don't know if I remember my password to get in. Sketch.
Isn't it Sketch Kirby 2000?
Yes.
Knew it.
This is not what I intended. This is not what I wanted. I accept the terms and conditions. Error. Another installation progress
Yay.
is in progress. You must oh, it's this one. Well, I told it to cancel. Well, now I'm just gonna have to force it to cancel with Task Manager. Task Manager's not responding.
Oh.
Which setup is it? Hopefully this one.
This comes in your favorite Moments with Technology album.
Mm-hmm. Suspended. That was the wrong one. Darn it. Suspend that one. This is the cost of being a digital artist, everyone.
Yep.
I just need to break out the acrylics and the watercolor and go back to whence I came.
Yep.
It's
the worst thing that
not as much color
can happen there is that you poison yourself.
Yeah, that's one thing. Also, you can't adjust proportions. You can't realize you put something in the wrong place and click and drag it somewhere else.
Well, you can still do that later.
What do you mean the installation? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I canceled all the other ones that were happening. Oh no, what's going on? Is Sketchbook running somewhere? Is it time that I just use GIMP from now on?
Or Krita.
Or Krita. Krita is pretty much just Photoshop, except free. And with a little bit less features.
Yeah. I still need to try it at some point.
I tried it for a little bit, but ultimately I ended up sticking with Sketchbook, and I won't lie, it's probably only for aesthetic purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just like the way that Sketchbook looked better than I did the way that Krita looked. I don't like the way that Photoshop looks. It's all dark and non-inviting.
I like it dark, I must say.
Sketchbook is white and more light in tones. More oh, nice colors there. Why didn't I use wettransfer.com for sending the file? That might be a good idea.
Also possible.
Diloraptor says, when are we gonna get some mammalian love? As soon as somebody suggests that we draw a mammal. We do not discriminate against our furry compatriots here.
That's true. There were a lot of mammals on these streams over the years. Months, I should say.
Mm-hmm. It just so happens that we usually have more people wanting us to do dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean,
but
if I would let the people, I would probably just draw Spinosaurus and Tyrannosaurus battling each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's pretty unfair. I mean, I have a nice audience. You guys suggest only the finest.
Yes.
Usually.
Quite. I'm gonna just go to Sketchbook's website and re-download it. Sketchbook's either not working at all or on my computer at all. Autodesk Sketchbook. I hope I remember. I think I signed in with it through Facebook, so I just need to remember what password I used for it, which should be easy because I use the same password for everything. And as for wettransfer.com for sending the file, I'll check it out. Thank you, audience. Oh, I know what I know. Me painting my nails. Because I didn't do it this morning, too. Ooh, but can I paint my nails and talk on Discord at the same time? And the answer is probably no, because I have to have my hand on the button to talk.
What, you still have to do that? You still have to push to talk? Wait.
I do.
I think I changed that.
Well, then maybe settings then.
I will look into.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I think I fixed it. Am I coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, I fixed it. You did have it fixed. I just hadn't switched it over on my end.
Okay.
That's a lot more convenient. I wish I had found that out sooner. It would save me many a worn out
yeah,
thumb.
I should have probably told you that I maybe fixed it.
No big deal. I found out one way or another.
Indeed.
I'm glad that this nail polish is still good because I left it in my car for days doing the afraid that it would be all goopy. Tomorrow I start back school.
Oh, these damn Mondays.
Yeah. I only have, I decided to take a summer class at my college this year to get it out of the way. Take my, my college math class. And so far so good.
Yep.
But it's always good when you do your left hand because you get to use your right hand to paint them. Then you have to use your left hand to paint your right hand, and that's not fun for anyone.
Okay, story
So
of
you
this.
don't have a favorite dinosaur, but favorite.
Story of the stegosaur. It was already pretty dark, and he was probably drunk.
Oh.
And
Joel, I am painting my nails a kind of dark navy blue color. Maybe I'll post it in the Discord when I'm done.
huh. Let's see. I want to give these plates a spiky edge.
That sounds like a good idea. Are you confident in your ability to get the result?
I hope.
Are you still going to add the Carcharodontosaurus?
Sorry? Oh, if I still...
Are you still going to add the Carchar?
Yeah, probably not. It's
Okay.
nice and
That's
simple
fair.
now.
Yeah, and it looks like he's having a bad enough day as it is. We don't need to make it worse with
Yeah,
with
probably.
a predator.
Yeah. It's also a cliche.
Yeah. I have been thinking for my for future painting doing juvenile Streptospondyluses, since uh, even though the holotype is a juvenile, I've never seen it restored as a juvenile. And I'm going to make
True.
them, instead of being beachcombers, I'm going to make them running around taking shelter under the legs of a adult Cetiosaurus, looking for any small mammals that it happens to scare away while walking through a forest.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. And I also have a pleurodon that is hunting small fish underneath the belly of a bowl of Ledzichthys.
Ooh.
Because I doubt even a fully grown Leptlorodon could lead Ledzichthys.
Yeah.
So instead, they're using them as something to hide under.
Yeah.
The shark thing where they're swimming below them and looking for small fish to catch while they're hunting. As barriers to shield themselves, hide themselves as they come out and attack. I like the spikes that you're putting on it right now.
Yeah, I just finished.
Have you seen Have you seen John Conway's updated Stegosaurus painting?
I don't think so.
I'll put it in the Discord. He did something really interesting with the plates. I'll post it next to the old version, so you can see the difference.
Is that from his website, Facebook, or Patreon?
His website.
Okay, so nothing secret. Patreon only.
No.
Okay.
No. I wouldn't share it if it was a Patreon only thing. I'm not Ashley. Alright.
Oh God. What is it? Abomination. Jurassic World Velociraptor with Mark Witten's face.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that in the Discord?
Yeah, in the
Let me see.
work in progress. When you scroll up a little bit. God.
I'll be looking for it.
Oh.
As soon as it comes up. Strange looking thing. I see a Carcharodontosaurus skeletal. Let me see.
Further down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really strange looking Spinosaurus Regan. There it is. There it is. I see it. Wow.
Okay.
Alright. Oopsie. Go ahead.
So I think we do one more sketch and then we will end the stream.
I suppose a mammal, since we got a request for one.
Indeed,
so people of
mammal.
the stream suggest a mammal you'd like to see. Joshua, I posted in the Secret Art Club his Stegosauruses. The new one is the one on the left, and the old one is the one on the right.
Not on my screen yet.
Okay.
But I have my eyes on it.
They've come up for me, but they haven't loaded yet. Oh, there they go. He fixed a few other things as well. He fixed the position of the tail, as well as the length of the neck a little bit.
Ah, yeah. I remember Scott Hartman's update. Ah, there it is.
Stegosaurus just keeps getting weirder.
Oh God, Timmy.
I'm not sure what study it was that prompted him to change the shape of the plates, but I'm sure he has his reasons.
Not necessarily. Can't remember anything like that.
It could be just it could just be a stylist.
Yeah, I think it's something stylistic because we have Oliver Demuth in the Earth Archives team, and he is basically our stegosaur specialist. He is working on a skeletal drawing of Miragaia. That's also the logo of this year's EAVP meeting in Portugal. And if there was something like that published, I think he would have told us several times. Very loud.
Yeah.
Uintaserium. I already did one, actually. Let me show you.
Have we done Gobiconodon or Rapinomamus?
Nope.
Gecko. We're not doing any more dinosaurs. We're ending the stream with a mammal.
Indeed. With a little filthy mammal.
Woolly
or a
rhino or parrots.
Woolly rhino, or also already done. Let me show you.
What about every chance I get to suggest this animal, I'm gonna do it as soon as I make sure I'm saying its name right. Look, hold on. I believe it's Stenictus. Looking it up now. Known from a complete skeleton. It's called, Stenictus. Okay? So I'll put it in the chat.
Stenictus.
As soon as you see what it is, you'll do it. There we go. I posted it. I believe it's just called the last thing.
Where have you posted it?
In the stream chat.
Okay. Why can't I see it?
Yeah, Spa is the one that we have a complete specimen of. It was during the Miocene. It's endemic to North America and Asia.
Unprofessional professional. Meritarium, we also did that. Let me show you. Actually not only one, but a group of them snuggling together. There you go.
Oh. Cutie.
We haven't done Platybelodon or Gomphotherium, that's true. Why can't I see it in the chat?
You can't see what I sent?
No. Was it in the work in progress?
I'll send it to you on Messenger then. No, it was in the stream chat from the live stream.
Oh,
But
oh, you mean the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't send a picture, but if you'll see it. You'll see the holotype.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, it's a weasel.
It sure is. It's the oldest weasel.
It's the oldest weasel.
Grandpappy to all of my little ferrets. All 6 of them.
Giraffa Titan. We already did a Giraffa Titan in the style stream. And we are doing a mammal right now. Mammal suggestion
Which is
only.
also why we're not going to do kayak.
Oh well, let's do this.
Are we gonna do Stenictus?
Yep. Well, it's pretty complete. I guess I would guess it had a similar long tail like modern weasels.
Yeah, considering the build of it, I would look at polecats for a reference. The larger weasels.
How large is this one?
Let me check. It weighed around the first specimen weighed around 13 kilograms. Second specimen weighed 5. So considering that it's 13 kilograms, that should put it at the same length as the. So let me look up the size of the steep polecat, and I will infer from that. My mustelid knowledge. Okay, yes. It would have been. Oh my. The first specimen being 13 kilometers. That's 30 pounds. That's much larger than any weasel we have today. That's much larger. But the second
I don't
specimen
think kilograms translate directly into pounds.
Yeah, not quite. Oh well. Still, both of these things that the estimated body mass of both these specimens are quite large. I wish I could find a size. Let me look around.
Shows
Okay.
this just shows again that everything in the past was larger.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, if this is right, I wish the specimen had a stick or something. Alright. Synectic. I found a paper. Control F centimeters. Inches. Length. Okay. Total mandibular length was 84 millimeters. So that's how big his mandible was. Animal. Is there a total length anywhere in this paper?
Mammal papers very often don't have these measurements.
Well then, right.
They often just look at the teeth.
Nah. Darn. Well then, let me do some scaling. If the mandible is 84 millimeters, actually 85 millimeters rounding up, 85 millimeters to centimeters, that means its skull is 8 centimeters, 8.5 centimeters. So let me take this picture of the body, get a centimeter stick from Google, and scale it up to the size of its 8.5 centimeter mandible, and then we will have a proper size estimate.
Nice.
As complicated as a process as that may seem.
It's a very scientific process.
Oh. And to top it all off, I don't have Sketchbook downloaded. Sketchbook would have been what I used to scale it. Well, let me see if I can install Sketchbook real quick then. I almost. It would have been so easy to do that as well. This is how I got all my measurements for all of the Yixian animals for my thing, but it didn't matter because I didn't use very many good skeletal references for that, so the proportions are probably wrong anyway. Well, let me see if I can do this on Microsoft Paint. 8.5 centimeters.
Oh, I need to have a look at the cats because they are both want attention. Apparently.
You can get the cats the attention they so well need and deserve while I try to sort out my life here. Online meter stick. Here we go. That should do. Goes up. I need it. Additions, please just install this. I'm getting this done. My love for weasels is what's propelling me to get this done. Larger. Holy crap. This thing's huge. This thing's gigantic. It's about... No way. Oh, wait. A little bit more. It's not as big as I thought, but it's still huge for a weasel. Alright. Oh, jeez. It is big for a weasel. Alright. Including the tail, we're looking at an animal that was about 70 centimeters long. Gecko, we're drawing a Phoenictus, oldest known member of the weasel family and the weasel lineage, which was, and this is a rough estimate. I'm using a meter stick that jumps around from 10 to from 10 centimeters at a time. And I'm also using Microsoft Paint to measure it, so it's not as accurate as it would have been with Sketchbook, but it's fairly close.
So back 70 centimeters.
Did you hear how?
Yeah.
70 centimeters.
That's
enormous.
It's a large boy.
It's very large.
Yep.
I had no idea that it's so large.
I think my proportions here are wrong. The head looks too small now. Yep, that's better. Okay.
It is the oldest member of the weasel lineage, right on, dude. It is a very large weasel.
It's very visualish.
So, asking if it's an otter, I suppose, is close. Otters and weasels are very, very closely related. They share the most recent common of any other thing with the weasel. I don't understand what's happening. Task manager. I'm just gonna, okay, enough for this. I'm uninstalling Sketchbook completely. Delete, gone. Reinstalling it.
For some reason, Google won't react for me in the moment. That's also nice. Now it will. Thank you. Because I want to compare the skull of this guy with modern weasels and martens.
I don't know if martens would be the best reference. They're not, they're a little bit more derived in their skull compared to weasels. The best references I would say would be weasels and bow.
Yeah.
Let me look at an
Damn, weasels have strange skulls.
Yeah, an otter skull is basically a scaled up. Yes, they have such like a large.
Yeah, these very elongated. They look like little aliens.
They do. They do look a little bit like little Geiger creations.
Yeah.
I own a few weasel skulls, and I compare it to I also have the skull of a fishet, which is a type of marten, and it is there are quite a few differences. So a marten isn't quite as good of a reference for Synecdoche as weasels or even an otter. Although the marten's not too bad, it's just a little bit more elongated, while an otter skull is very, very close to a weasel skull. It's just upscaled. And a marten skull, a marten skull is much, much more elongated. So
yeah, I'm just
references
now
would be weasels and otter.
I'm just now putting some flesh on the head here.
Let me take a look. See.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I know a little bit, way too much about mustelid phylogeny. It's still hard for me to believe how large Synecdoche was, though. It's just there's not that much research about it out, unfortunately. As with many Miocene mammal species that aren't megafauna. So I wish there was more stuff out about Gynogalerix. I wish there was more stuff out about Synecdoche. I wish there was more stuff out about Amphiphilomerids.
This looks awful. How I made it now. Looks nothing like a weasel. I will go back.
I would suggest making the snout shape a little bit more, making the nose come out a little bit more triangular and tapered.
Yeah. Also giving it larger ears.
Way. Yeah. That looks better. I still think the snout should be more. Make it maybe a little bit more tapered at the snout. I wish I could find something that placed Synictus's phylogeny.
Have I already begun to redraw it on the screen?
Okay, yes. You have. You just added the mouth. Let's see. Let me look at polecats since they're the largest weasels around today. Compared to what you... Okay, yeah, you've just now started redrawing it on the string. So I'm a little bit behind with all the advice that I was giving you. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. It's looking much better now.
Yeah, I actually did it a third time.
I'll give you credit because weasels are very difficult animals to draw. I draw them quite often, and I still have a lot of trouble. The best weasel I've ever done was just the head of one. Wasn't even the entire animal. Let me see if I can find that picture. I'll post it in the Discord. That was of Mustela frenata, which is our local weasel. I'll post it in finished sketches. Take it from my Tumblr.
Let's see. Yeah.
But doing the full body of a weasel is the hardest part. Okay. It looks much better where I'm looking at now. It looks very weasel-like. It's got a little bit of a... Its face kind of reminds me a bit of the black-footed ferret. Mustela nigripes, I believe. Very nice. I like it. I like it quite a bit. And the ears look much better.
Yeah, so the ears are now much closer to something that actually lives.
In finished sketches, I put my my portrait of Mustela frenata.
Oh, let's see. Oh, yes, I remember that one. Oh yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Oh, I think there was something on work in progress. Oh yeah, Dino Bird Man did something. Ah yes, Penphagia and the Vuerosaurus. Yeah, I know it's late. Just this one. That's what you said 20 minutes ago. Mm,
Ugh, it's taking so long to download these files. Well, I'm just gonna have to hope that it all goes over well. I am really digging this weasel so far.
okay, good enough.
In the stream where you looked at my illustration of it, to give you an idea of where the stream is right now. Stelline is no longer a valid genus or valid classification. And weasels need to be split up into 2 genuses, but right now there's only one, and one of them is kicked out for arbitrary reasons. I'll actually go into that now. It's something that I've talked about on streams before, missing a weasel right now. It's a good time to bring up my thoughts and concerns on the American mink, which for a while was referred to as Mustela vision. Then it was later found that because it shared it didn't share as much genetic relatedness with the European mink as once thought, and they found that the European mink was actually much more closely related to the European polecat. The reason that the 2 minks look the same is this complete convergent evolution. Mustela vision, the American mink, was then transferred into Neovision vision, where it has remained for a while despite a few studies coming out to suggest that all of the American weasel species deserve to be in their own genus if we are separating the American mink. And that proposed classification is vision. So the long-tailed weasel of America would be called, instead of Mustela vision, it would, Mustela frenata, it would be correct. And right now, that is what we should be listing these animals as, is if we are genetically, but we're not. And unfortunately, not even that big book on Musteloidea that came out recently touches on this issue. And they still list all of the weasel species except for the American mink as being under the genus Mustela. American mink is in Neovision. And I believe that the proper way to separate all of these out is to have all of the American weasels, which do seem to be from their own distinct lineage, considered vision, and the European and Eurasian weasel species be considered Mustela. So there you go. There's a little bit of knowledge for you today. There is another animal in the genus Neovision, but it's the sea mink. So I suppose under this classification, this would be considered a vision as well. Is the phylogenetic wonderful?
That's why I usually don't deal with phylogeny.
that's the thing that I'm the most interested in.
And
And
I'm
it's
just
also the
looking
messiest.
for ecology and stuff like that. Uh, for me, it's all nice and fair, but when you don't have an ecological background, it's at least for me, it's pointless. When you don't see the animals
Yeah.
in their natural environment and how they, or if you don't try to envision how they interact, could interact, and what relationships they build upon.
Yes, yes, quite. It's phylogeny is certainly one of the least important um, zoological studies. At least with it's at least the one that has the least practical value. Um, but
Yeah, which makes it for me
I suppose
so. I think sometimes we overestimate in paleontology how useful phylogeny cladistics really can be to us, especially to us paleo artists sometimes. In general, I think sometimes cladistic is a little bit too hyped to say it's this.
yeah, especially in paleontological studies, because it's the hardest
Just look
to
at
have
all
a
these
good confirmation bias.
just look at all these pointless phylogenetic studies on titanosaurs.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying something different.
There's
No consensus at all. I don't know why they are even trying, as long as they are just hundreds of fragments they are working with. Why even try at this point?
And then, of course, there's the whole Ornithoscalida versus Saurischia, Ornithischia thing, which I think at this point, it's so muddy that to me, I think that it is almost arbitrary to draw the lines between the groups of these early animals. I think that so at this point, it's reasonable to say that Saurischia, Ornithischia are their own three distinct branches, with it being such a thin line between which one is more closely related to the other that it doesn't really have that much impact. Zach P, it's nice to see a weasel enthusiast in this chat as well. They're my absolute favorite animals, and I've spent way too much time reading about them. One thing that's really interesting about them is at least stoats is what the study was on. So the short-tailed weasel, Mustela erminia, they can see the color red, which is very, very rare for most mammals, especially carnivorans. Yeah. And the oddest thing about that is, despite the fact that they can see the color red, eyesight is something that the weasels have I guess the worst in terms of their senses. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's very bad, but it's the least important sense that they use.
Could be better.
The sense that they have the sense that they have the most in tuned is hearing. And then smell would be between those two, but the hearing is what they're mostly going for, which makes sense since they're adapted to hunt rodents underground.
I think I will depict this guy during the night.
Alright.
So in pale moonlight, which quickens the process now somewhat, because I don't have to think about a nice coloration or have to ask for someone to throw me one.
Yes, that helps a lot. By the way, I'm quite a fan of this. It's my favorite thing that you've produced so far, and it is simply because it's a weasel. I'll admit my bias fully. Um,
The
yeah, I
bias is
recommend
strong
you
with
do
this
the
one.
you do that, but counter shading on it would also be nice because that's a common thing to see in
Yeah, sure.
more common than the mask. People usually equate weasels and masks, but only three. No, there's more than three species. But the majority of weasel species look more like a stoat or a least weasel with just the counter shaded brown and then white or yellow belly. The mask is something that you bit in the long-tailed weasel, but only in West Coast variants. You see it in cat and the steep polecat, and you see it in the Malaysian weasel to some extent, but it's not quite as visible. What other interesting things about weasels can I point out?
Wait,
They have
I'm
a
back
very
in a
high
second.
pain tolerance. Okay, I'll just keep rambling about weasels to the chat. Very high pain tolerance, which is a direct adaptation to the fact that they have poor eyesight and poor coordination, because they run really fast. They're not very good at turning around and maintaining all of that. They run around and they tend to constantly bump and smash into walls. There is an old folk tale about how stoats and weasels are able to hypnotize their prey by performing a dance, and this is actually not literally true, but it is based on a weasel's exhibit, where it's the origin of the weasel war dance. Domestic ferrets do it quite often in a play mode, where they will do a little bit of a dance in front of their prey to confuse it and therefore let its guard down, so they may come in for the kill, which is usually a bite to the back of the skull, crushing the animal's brain case. The least weasel is as well known for hunting mice and only eating their burrows will literally fill to the top with not weasels. They are burrows will fill to the top with mice and rodents that have only had their brains eaten and nothing else. And I apologize for the fact that I'm drifting into a sort of English accent. It happens whenever I start talking, because I'm so used to British nature documentaries and hearing most of the people that I hear talking as an authority on these subjects are British. So if I start talking for too long about a certain subject regarding animals, I'll drift into a British accent, and it's hard for me to come out of it.
It's okay.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. I wish it didn't. It's a little bit embarrassing.
No.
But yeah, I would recommend whitening up the belly. Nice little counter shading. Let's see. Well, what else? What else was there to share about weasels? I'm sure everyone knows that the domestic ferret is a domesticated version of the European polecat. They were originally domesticated to be able to hunt rabbits and go into rodent tunnels and get stuff like that. but then they became a problem, and then dachshunds were domesticated to places and get rid of weasels. What else is there? I have quite a few weasel facts stored in my brain. They don't really come out until so I think about them. There is an amazing book that I would recommend anyone who's interested in weasels look up. I think it's called the biology of stoats, weasels, and polecats. I'm not entirely sure if that's the name of it. It has Mustela frenata, the long-tailed weasel, on the cover, and it's pretty much the only good book dedicated to weasels that there is out there. I'll post
how much mustelid related literature is there? Popular literature.
There's not enough. There's not enough. There's
of course.
The definitive book on mustelids is the Conservation and Biology of Musteloids, which last year. It's the big book for musteloids. Because it's musteloids, it's less specialized. It covers all of Musteloidia, which includes skunks and red panda coons, and then mustelids themselves, which are weasels, martens, ferret badgers, false weasels. What else? And the 3 different lineages of badger. There's that, and then there's the weasel book that I mentioned, and I'm sure there's been books written on otters, and probably as well, maybe martens. If anything, out of all of the mustelids, I would assume the otters have probably had the most literature written about them. But the Conservation and Biology of Musteloids is the book that's the newest and the most up-to-date and the most trustworthy. So that's what I would recommend everybody go check out. Let me think. What other good resources are there? Walker's Mammals of the World volume. Of course, it's both the volumes of Walker's Mammals of the World are a little bit outdated. Of course, volume 1 contains Insectivora, which we know now to be an obsolete group. And it has the American mink listed as Mustela vision instead of Neovision, which honestly, given my rant earlier, I sort of appreciate. But it has quite a good section on weasels, so I would check that out as well. Walker's Mammals of the World Volume 1 and 2 are some of the best resources that you can have for mammals in general, even if they are a little bit out of date now. There's still a wealth of things to be learned.
Okay, I'm finished with my little large weasel.
Little large weasel.
The little large weasel, yeah.
Stoats will drink blood. That is true. Stoats do drink blood sometimes. They are vicious.
Yes. So let's quickly go over the animals we looked at today. We started out with Panphagia, basal sauropodomorph. Then we looked at Hypernector, strange Drepanosaur relative from Italy, to my knowledge. I think. Wasn't it?
What? I'm sorry, I was responding.
I think Hypernector was also from, or was it from New Jersey? I can't remember. Well, Then we have.
But I just, yeah. I like the little handstand it's doing.
Oh, wait, Mom has a question for me. Yes.
Hat er überhaupt was gefressen?
Fair enough, fair enough.
Den Rest hier.
Was?
Den Rest von den Spritzen da.
Ach so, hattest du den schon mal?
Nee, mache ich gleich.
Oh, das ist wieder Jahre
Er hat
blau.
erst schon mal vorhin ein bisschen was gefressen. Also ist da nicht so eine große Fresspause.
Also brauchst du ja nur irgendwie die Reste bei dir reinstellen, ne?
Ja, ja.
Da sind schon wieder alle
Ja, ja.
leer.
Ja, ja, der frisst es alles weg.
Und alles nachts.
Ja.
Also demnächst stellen wir alles noch da links hin.
Ja, wahrscheinlich.
Auch wenn du weg bist. Mal.
Ja, mach das am besten.
Dann nicht. Ich alle nicht. Müssen wir auch mit wegnehmen.
Okay. Yeah.
That's nice.
Cat
I'm
talk.
posting the link of the first book. What chat should I post it in? I guess
General.
reference.
General, I would say.
General? Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
So, here's the biology and conservation of musteloids. Let me find the other one. I like the little standing on one foot that Panphagia is doing a little dance.
Yeah. After Hyperinector we had Bilancea, that strange Chimera relatives, then Werosaurus stuck in crevice, and last but not least is Stinictis in moonlight, looking for some
Yeah.
large mice, probably.
Some large Miocene mice.
Yes, the best mice. Only the fattest.
Alright. I posted both the links in Discord. I recommend that if you guys are interested at all in weasels or mustelids, that you check them out because there aren't that many great books on them, and these two are the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and of course, there's Walker's Mammals of the World, Volume 1 and 2. I find that easily. Their names are a lot less complicated.
Okay, that
Cool.
would be everything for the stream.
I'm glad I finally got to show my mustelid nerd side.
Yeah, and finally you
And
got me to
my
draw one.
English. Yes. So that's been the entire reason I've been joining you this whole time, to
Yeah.
get you to draw one weasel.
It's true.
My
It's funny because it's true.
manipulation is complete.
Was the last time we heard of Kirby on this stream. Okay. Good night, everybody, I would say.